guys, welcome to my new video. Today, as the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about how to make time for your dreams. Sounds really obvious, but a lot of people I know, most people I know in my life, don't really know what that means to make time for their dreams. Everybody that I have ever met have had dreams, as matter small dreams, big dreams, whatever dreams you have. Amazing. Everybody that I've met and really been inspired by have had ambitions to be something, to do something, to go somewhere. But too many people don't find the time to make those dreams a reality. I'm one of those people. It's only been recently through reading a couple of books, which I'm going to go through in a minute, have I realised that I don't make time for myself. Now, most of us that I'm speaking to are probably old enough that they have a job and they probably work a lot of hours. Me, my day is the same. It's not the same, it's very different, but in terms of the schedule, it is the same. I get up at 5 a.m. in the morning. I get on the 5:36 bus to the gym. I train for an hour and a half because physically and mentally it makes me feel incredible. That's my time to work on myself physically. I go to work. I have a day working at the moment as a teacher. I finish my day, I come home, I have my dinner, and I'm in bed by 7:30 every evening, which is another video altogether about that sleeping habit, because I didn't used to be that way. And I want to talk about that separately. But that's my day. Now, I don't watch TV. There's a TV sitting over to the side of me, and when my partner's not here, that TV doesn't get turned on once. If I ever watch that TV, it's because my partner and his daughter are here and they have it on in the background, and I'm just sitting there with them and it's on in the background. I don't watch any shows, I don't do anything like that. Maybe once a week I'll have a 20-minute, half an hour YouTube binge where I watch a couple of videos before I head to bed. And the only time I spend on my computer at the moment is either to research and book trips, or to blog for that other company that I blog for as well, or blog about, should I say. I don't blog for them, I'm not employed by them. And it wasn't until December of last year when my amazing friend came to visit me in London, and on a day trip to Westfields, we went to a company which you guys are probably like, Jen, you've never heard of this company until December 2018. My goodness, you're in a box. kikki.K, which is a stationery company. Now, one of the big things I'm working on, and I keep dropping all these things for new videos in there, is not to be so much of a consumer. Now, I'm not going to say I'm never going to be a consumer, because just sitting right now with my iPhone in front of me talking to you guys shows that I am a consumer. But my idea is to cut back on spending, and I want to spend and invest my money on experiences and chasing my dreams, rather than buying physical things. But we went into this store, I was looking at the stationery. I used to love stationery. I used to collect like empty journals just because the idea of writing on that first page excited me. I haven't done that for many years, and I don't intend to do it. But when we were in there, I saw this book. This book is called, and by the way, this is not a paid advertisement, I just want to say, I'm not paid by this person. Your Dream Life Starts Here. Now, you can go into any bookstore, go online on Amazon and type in self-help books, type in things like that, and it will come up with hundreds and thousands of, oh, spend 5 minutes a day, chasing your dreams, or how to make your dreams a reality, etc. And, you know, these books they have a heart in them, they are on the right track, they have good ideas, but most of them you read and you get inspired by, and then you're just like left out into the world again. Okay, so yeah, I definitely want to be an astronaut. Read the book, I'm empowered, I'm going to be an astronaut. And then you just sink back into your little life because you don't sort of know the pathway that you want to take. This one, when I read the back of it, I'm not going to read it to you now, but it spoke to me more than any other of these books that I've ever seen before in my life, because this wasn't just a book written by kikki.K and how she transformed her life and opened her own stationery company. But there are exercises throughout, and it can come with this if you choose to buy the journal as well. And it takes you through step by step by step. It doesn't just say, what's your dream? What do you want to be? Okay, you want to be an astronaut. Well, go and train at NASA. It doesn't do that. It takes you through little aspects of your life that you don't think about. And then you start to, without realising it, you start to create a bank of ideas and possible steps for you to take. And this all comes back to the video idea that you need to make time for yourself to work on these dreams. And I'm going to go through what this book does. I'm not saying you have to buy this book, but you might have these amazing ambitions to be something, to go somewhere. I mean, some people just have ambitions to travel, so they save money while they're working and they go travelling. That's great. There we go. You're doing something. But if you want to change your career, or you want a career because you know you're younger, or it doesn't matter how old you are, you want a change in career, you want a new career, you want to have a career, you want to do something really ambitious, you want to be a certain way, you want to work on yourself physically, but you don't give yourself weekly time to actually, even just to sit and reflect on possible ideas you could have, there's a good chance that you might never get to where you want to be. And I'm not saying for 1 second that where I want to be is going to happen. But I know as long as I work towards that, I can never fail. I can only, hopefully, curve my path to get there at some point in the future. So, as I say, you don't have to use this book. I'm not promoting this book as a be-all and end-all. You can just use a journal, but I can help you through it. So the idea, first of all, in this dream journal is you get asked questions. And I think this is really important because I think we automatically, when people ask us about our dreams and our ambitions, automatically we put a ceiling on where we can get to. And the first questions that this journal asked me completely lifted that ceiling. And I think you need to lift that ceiling to start with. You need to start with questions like this book says. If you had endless funds, if you had endless support from everybody in your life, what things would you want to achieve? So don't worry about money. Don't worry about anything about people saying, you can't be that, you're a girl, you can't be that, you're too old, you can't be that, you live here. If you could be, do, have anything in the world with no ceiling attached, what would you be, do, want, have, wherever? And so the questions I got asked, what would you do if you could not fail? That's a really great question. It's the first question in the book. What would you do if you could not fail? What would you do if you had all the time and money in the world? If you had all the skills and knowledge? If you had all the courage, all the self-love? If you had all the support? And so on. And then if you make time for yourself each and every week to think about these things, over time you start to think about how you can make these possible, and it's going to be very small steps. So as this book goes through, I'm not going to go through it all, but so far I've focused on the people in my life that make me the happiest, who I want in my life. And I can only focus on a few, I can't focus on them all. So who makes me happy? Who holds me back? And what I could do to make sure they don't hold me back. And then you start to think about not what job do you want to do, but what excites you? What interests you? What goals would you like to achieve across your lifetime? So don't think about your career, Jen. Think about what you want to do. It could be something so simple as, I want to go to India. Or it could be, I want to be a this. I want my career to be this, to be this, to be this. I want to cook lemongrass and coconut flavoured cupcakes. I want to open my own business. It doesn't matter how big or how small these ambitions are, just start writing them down. And what I found with this book especially is you start to write down. So it says 101 dreams. I'm not going to read them all. I've only written 40 so far. But to be happy, to have a profession that allows freedom, to travel as much as possible, to be creative, And then I wrote a specific thing to have a book published. I've been writing stories for years. I think I'm a good writer. I would love to have a book published. To involve fitness in my profession. Now, I want to train to be a personal fitness trainer, but I don't want to be a personal fitness trainer. I know that, because jotting down all of these ideas, you start to have certain ideas that stand out above the rest, because I love my fitness. I go to the gym 5 to 7 times a week. I train, hopefully you can tell. I train, I love it. Physically, I feel amazing. Mentally, I feel so much more alive, I feel much more awake, I feel much more alert, much happier in myself when I train myself physically. And I want to have a life where that is important to me, because I get a thrill when I get into the gym. You might think, Jen, how can you get a thrill when you're sitting on a bus at 5:36 in the morning, going to the gym in the pitch black when it's snowing? Because I know when I get there and I'm training, that's my time, and I love the way I feel when I finish. So I know that fitness is going to be in my future career. But I don't want to be a personal fitness trainer. I would be bored senseless, standing in a gym, telling somebody to put their back up straight, shoulders back, do 12 reps, no, keep pushing, one more. That would not stimulate me mentally. But I know that I want fitness in my future. I want veganism to be a part of my future. I want writing to be a part of my future, cooking, food. All of these things I have, I'm just writing these things down. Let's find some really boring ones. To educate others about veganism. To see purpose in what I'm doing. And then to meet Jim Carrey. So if you're watching Jim Carrey, yeah, right, I want to meet you one day. That's not going to be part of my future career. I don't know, maybe it will be. You know, maybe we'll start a vegan brand together. Who knows? There's no ceiling. So just write these ambitions down: to visit Egypt, to learn at least one other language, to see the Northern Lights, to learn how to drive, you know, to live as a raw vegan. I want to sustain myself as a raw vegan. I want to sustain myself as a vegan without taking any supplementations, to truly live in the presence, to reach a full understanding of a plant-based diet so I can consume exactly what I need. These are tiny little things that you might have up here, but never become... I just feel there's a power in writing things down and giving you that time every single week. So as this book goes on, I'm just flitting. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible YouTuber. I'm never going to be a YouTuber, am I? You talk about who you want to meet. You know, who do I want to meet? This might sound so silly to some of you, but it doesn't matter. It's my people. Michael Morpurgo, because his storytelling comes with such ease. He's a big person I've looked up to with my writing because he's an amazing storyteller. Jim Carrey, because he's been my role model since I was about 6 years old. You know, a childhood hero. Walter de Becker, also known as Gaultier, because he stands against the grain. He's super creative. He's successful for being super creative and standing against, you know, all the humdrum of musicians that all sound the same to me. Michelle Lewin, because of her fitness, you know, and being able to, you know, someone who has become a multi-skilled entrepreneur. But doing this has helped me realise, you know, for years I've been going, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. It doesn't stimulate me enough. It's not, I don't go into work. I'm not saying I'm going to work sad. I have a good day. I make the most. I give everything, every ounce of my breath to those children in that class. And I love them all to pieces. But I know deep down I don't want to continue doing this for the rest of my life. But for ages I've been thinking, well, what do? Do I be a personal fitness trainer? Do I write a book and hope that the book becomes successful? Do I try and become a YouTuber? Do I travel the world and do something else? Well, actually, when you start to write things down, you start to realise where you're leaning towards. And I now realise, I think I need to be, I still don't know, I'm in early stages. I feel like I need to be an entrepreneur because I feel like I need to have a job where I can choose to do different things every week, every month, wherever it may be. I don't think I'm going to be happy in a job where I'm doing the same skill for the rest of my life. I want to write, I want to cook, I want to create vegan food, I want to talk about fitness, mental health. I want to do all these things, I want to travel the world. So writing these things down and giving yourself that time every week, an hour is all you need. An hour a week, and then you're working on yourself physically, mentally, for the future, an hour a week. Believe me when I say that my job and my timetable would for most people seem impossible. People say to me, Jen, how are you able to review 20 products in a week? I don't know, but I find time for it. And if I can find time to review cosmetics, and I can find time to browse Instagram or look on YouTube for half an hour a week, I can find time for myself. And I think that's the most important thing, finding time for yourself. One of the big things that you should do is make a note of where your time goes. Because there's no point denying it. You know where your time goes. So if you sit on the bus in the morning and you're on Instagram for 40 minutes, that time could be used to spend on yourself. Now, I'm not saying that social media is terrible. I mean, I'm sitting here doing a video for YouTube. I love Instagram. I love going on to YouTube. But I sat down and I worked out where my hours were going. My hours were going on working out at the gym, were going to work, sleep, and then the few hours that I allow myself throughout the week were either going on blogging about products or were just sitting there flitting on my phone, not really doing much. So I could find myself an hour a week, and once you find an hour a week, stick to it. That's your treat. That's not a boring task to do. Even if you just sit for an hour on the sofa and you consider, okay, what do I want to be? You know, what do I want to do? I definitely want to visit these places. Jot it down. Oh, I think maybe meditation will help me, maybe 10 minutes a week. Okay, jot it down. Start creating a timetable. Start focusing on you. If your ambition is to travel, start focusing on how you're going to get there, where you want to go. Even if it's just writing, I'd love to visit this place because they have this and I want to see this. That's amazing. You're working on yourself. You're building up excitement for something you want to do. So going back to the main point, this book, if you're interested, is called Your Dream Life Starts Here. It's definitely worth checking out. This, I make sure I do an hour a week, and it's a massive book. I'm only on chapter 3 or 4, but I've already been inspired to realise just where I get excited by. And I haven't yet carved a future for myself. I don't know what career I want, but I know that I'm working on myself and I'm working on that future. So I know that I'm doing what I need to do, because if I just don't do anything and I'm stagnant, I know that I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm going to be a teacher in 10 years' time, still thinking, oh, now I've got bigger bags under my eyes, and you know? So the whole purpose of this video is to say, give yourself that time. You don't have to buy any books. Buy a cheap pound book from the pound shop and just document thoughts. It might be thoughts. You might spend an hour dreaming about a fantastic recipe that you want to make your partner or your family or your friends or your whatever it may be, colleagues. Then spend an hour researching online for the perfect recipe that you want to make and what ingredients, because it's something for your future. As little as it seems, to make some cupcakes or a cake or a meal for somebody, and you might think that's got nothing to do with my future life. Well, it does, because it's something that you want to do. So even if you're spending an hour a week sitting there just dreaming about and making a recipe, or creating or finding a recipe to make your partner for the following week, you're still doing something for yourself and your future. So make time for your dreams. Dreams become a reality when you start to write things down, you start to document things, because you slowly over time begin to see those steps. And maybe if you're only documenting a fantastic recipe once a week, maybe 6 months down the line, you'll find something online that will inspire you to take a course. Maybe you'll start talking to somebody about your recipe that you've made and you'll make a connection. Whatever it may be, make time for your dreams, because otherwise they will never become a reality. And even if your dream is there's no ceiling. So even if your ambition is to be the first person to live on Jupiter, you can still be taking those small steps to get there, because the second you stop, you've failed. If you keep going, you'll never fail. Ugh. that's all I've got to say. 20 more minutes. See you next time.